Good morning. I have a new song. I've been working on it for a bit, actually. I've put a mandolin track on it and an acoustic track. It's very much piano driven, and the request from the producer was that the piano hook in the intros would be doubled by mandolin. They also wanted acoustic and just any electric flavors that I wanted to add. Leave room for Josh Matheny. He's an awesome dobro player, and actually they sent me an updated version of this song since I got these directions, and his parts are in there. So there's a lot going on in this song, and once again, here I am in a very supporting role. The song is almost featuring the dobro, and the rhythm, again, is carried by piano, so I'm not really doing any heavy lifting on this track. I'm just filling it out, adding some cool vibe here and there. I do have a couple of little electric things that I've done. Here, first of all, here's the intro. This is with the mandolin playing with the dobro, my mandolin playing with the dobro and piano lick that are already there. We're in the key of E. So this acoustic is a Harmony Sovereign. I just got it. It's a 63 that's been completely rebuilt from the ground up, like from the bracing up, basically, by this guy in Alabama. And he just makes it play like $1 million, and it sounds great. It's the old Jimmy Page acoustic, if you're wondering, which I'm a huge Zeppelin fan, so had to get one of these, even though I don't play a ton of acoustic. I really like it. And then the mandolin is my little Callings mando. So I had muted everything for just the acoustic there, but check this intro out. If I just mute the track, so the dobro part, it's like he's going. And then the second time, it's slightly different. And you know, when you're listening to the track, just listening to it play, you might not really notice that, but then when you go to double the hook that's there, you'll notice, wait a minute, it doesn't sound exactly right the second time. It's because he's playing it slightly differently. And it's slightly different in the intro, in the turnaround, and in the outro. So I had to work all that out and get that all sorted. So yeah, I have the acoustic, the mandolin. I have a baritone playing in the choruses, which is cool. It's just raking diamonds. And so on a standard tuned guitar, this is E, A, F sharp minor, or the full version, and then C sharp minor, B. These are all the chorus chords. On a baritone, if you have one tuned standard, the way a baritone is tuned standard, it's the same relative tuning as a normal guitar, meaning every string pair is a fourth apart except for the second and third strings, and those are a major third, except it's a fourth down, so the low string is a B. So what I did on the baritone was I capoed the second fret, and I played G shapes relative to that second fret capo, which puts me in the key of E. So check this out. This is what I have. That's an A minor shape, but it's F sharp minor. There's a G shape, which is E, C sharp minor. Man, there's so much awesome dobro playing on this song. I have like 1 or 2 spots I can step out. And check this out. I actually, because I was hearing it and then decided, hey, this would be a good song to do a video on. I added a little bit of some verse 2 action on another electric. So here's from that turnaround. Trying to put a fill at the end of her vocal phrase, but then it was getting in the way of the dobro. So check this out. If I just solo the track, you'll hear that dobro lick kept getting in the way, and so I just didn't play anything. Sometimes that's the best thing, is to actually not play anything. So I've got that one lick. Kind of hear it swell back in underneath the dobro. So yeah, let's add some more things. I have an idea for a chorus part that's a little bit vibier. And I'm going to play this Sweet Guild on it. I just bought this from Uncle Larry. This is a 62 Starfire III, complete with the original Guildsby tailpiece. It's got a wound G because this really fantastic sounding bridge is intonated for a wound G, so you wouldn't want to put a plain G on it. That's going to make everything really sharp when you get probably the 7th fret up. So the crazy thing about this guitar is that, and I've had one of these before, a bunch of us in town bought them. We're like, oh, Tom sounds really great on that. Maybe I should get one. Well, the one I got had the typical problem where the top of the guitar settles over time in a way that takes away all the break angle at the bridge. And once again, we're talking about break angle on guitars because it's really important. This guitar actually has break angle. I don't know if you can see very well. There is a distinct break over the bridge to the back, and it's kind of the one, you know. This is actually the one he played on everything. He said he had this guitar for 15 years, which is, I think that's probably a record for him. But he was selling it, and I sold my older one a long time ago because of that bridge issue, and I always missed the guitar. And so when he told me he was thinking about selling it, it's like, well, let me know when you do, because I would probably just buy it from you. He said, come on over. So I did, with money. So, cool thing about this guitar is, I mean, the tone is incredible. It's got a totally different vibe. It makes you play differently because of the wound G, or it makes me play differently. So, bridge sound is great. Middle sound is out of phase, factory. Really interesting sound, and you know, I'm sure there's some contexts where I might use that, but mostly the neck and the bridge are just fantastic. These old Guild humbuckers are so clear and have such a vibe to them. And then this is a fully hollow guitar as well, which probably was frustrating for people for many years using it in a live context, because you know, it'll just take off in terms of feedback. But in a controlled studio environment, really cool. So I've got a part I want to play on these choruses, just kind of outlining the chords. Our chorus progression is 4, 2 minor, 1, and then 6 minor with a beat 4/5 chord. And this is how I write that out. This line right here, 4, 2 minor, 1, 6 minor, beat 4/5. Then the back half is similar, 4, 2 minor, 5 sus, diamond 5. And again, we're in E, so this is A, F sharp minor, E, C sharp minor, B, A, F sharp minor, B sus, B. So I'm just going to play on the choruses and see what happens here. I've got a little bit of Maris reverb, as I often do, and I've got my timeline. It's really just there for the extra ambience. I don't have it set to the tempo or anything. So let's see what happens. Oh, I want to make sure I have pre-roll. I have not had pre-roll yet. Here we go. Okay, so let me turn down some of the other tracks just because they're kind of in the way, volume-wise. Let's do this again. I might go to the neck pickup here, just a little darker. I've got the big Reiki diamonds on the baritone, and they're very they're bright. Not in a bad way, but they got a lot of top end of kind of raking off of the playing strings, and even though it's pitched lower, there's still a big zhlang happening. So maybe this guitar could stand to be darker. Let's try it again. Awesome. I like that. Next, chorus. And I've got a bit of a down chorus where I won't play, but I'm going to go through the bridge. And yeah, this is going to be chorus 2. This part will stay in for the bridge, out for the down, back in for the up. And then our outro is down 2, and I may just play something light there. We'll see what happens. That beat 4 1/3 right before the chorus. I think I should hit that with this guy. I've already got the baritone is playing that line. That's bar 4 of the down chorus, and that's what brings us back in. Just quarter notes in that melody. So I'm going to punch in and do that an octave up instead of playing the exact same octave as my other guitar. And I'm going to turn the delay off because that is distracting in that bar, and I'll turn it back on because the notes aren't ringing together. When I'm playing something like this, the delay's not offensive, but if I'm going then when it's single notes, the delay is kind of sticks out too much. So I'm just going to turn it off for that bar. Outro. The cool thing about the melody and the way the piano is playing is that they're almost implying a 2 minor in the back half of it. The chords are the way that the very end of the phrase is, so it's, let's see, I'm trying to play the melody and the chord roots at the same time. This 4 chord, it almost implies a 2 minor, right? But you wouldn't play a full 2 minor that way. It's really just putting the 2 in the upper voicings of the chord. So if you wanted to be super correct about it, I would probably call that a 4/6 chord, a major 6 chord. So a 6 chord is when you have the triad, but somewhere in the voicing. And if you can catch, you can play it that way as a full bar chord. Usually I play it that way: 1, 6, 3, 5. But when I was playing chords behind that melody, I was just going. That's really cool. That really supports that ending note of the phrase. So it's not enough that would make me write on the chart, oh, that's a 2 minor, or that's a 4/6 chord. Sometimes when you write things out, when you go overboard notating, everybody reads it in the band, and you don't want everybody to do that. So the nice thing about this situation is that I'm the last person to play on this song. So I can add that color and it's not going to be overbearing because we're too much. I feel like that's just something that you want to kind of hint at with 1 or 2 people doing it. Well, this guitar is doing it. I may have done it. Also on my acoustic, let's check it out. Let's see if it is there. I don't know that it is. No, see, I stayed on the 4. This is the outro. So it's cool having another guitar that I'm not playing the melody with it, but I am jumping on that note with the melody. So I don't know. It's something that if I were to lead a session and wrote this chart for everybody else to read and we all played it together, and then everybody reads that as a 4 split 2 minor or a 4 split 4/6 chord. By split, I mean they just share the bar. They each get 2 beats with a push, right? That bar has a push in it. Just so you know what I'm talking about, and this doesn't sound like total nonsense to you. I'm playing 1/6. So that second hit is push. They're both split bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. So the timing of it has a push in it. So if I had written everything as I think it would feel like way too much, because then everybody in the band's jumping on that. Acoustic, piano, bass may have some melodic move at some point, which will imply or support that other move. Here, it's just me, and I think it's really cool. We'll listen to that outro real quick. Just one more guy, one more instrument hinting at that melody. I think it's really cool. So, but again, I wouldn't put it on the chart because then it would be too much. Everybody would read it and play it, and we'd probably stop and say, maybe not everybody jumps on that. So anyway, I've got this part down. Now there's a move in the pre-choruses that's pretty cool, and it is a descending thing. The pre-chorus is 4 bars of 5 chord. Now that's a long time to just be hanging on one chord, and especially in a mellow song like this. So whoever got to this song before I did, or whoever wrote it, they may have written this line in it. They have a melodic move. Listen to this. So here's the pre-chorus. This is all over the 5 chord, but you'll hear a descending line through it. So that's one way to solve the problem of staying on a chord for a long time and not having any interest. Like you can create interest by putting a line like that that kind of walks across the chord. And at the very end of it, if you listen, at the very end, they actually do imply a different chord. Check this out. Listen to this pre-chorus one more time.
Do what you gotta do, take a breath and find a win. Give yourself some grace, you're still the queen you've always been. Hey mama, you...
They actually go to the 4 there, which is cool. But really, like what's happening is we're on the 5 chord. I've just got a little bit of reverb on here. So the line, maybe I put tremolo on this guy. So it's just walking. This is the 3rd of the chord. That's the 2 of the 5 chord. The 1, and then the flat 7. Or you could say in E, we have a melodic line of 7, 6, 5, 4, all over a 5 chord. So if I were to write that on the chart, that's probably what I'd do. 7, 6, 5, 4. I scratched a chart out for myself, so I didn't notate that on it, but I do want to play it. I want to play these pre-choruses. It happens twice, and that's all this track is going to be, is that pre-chorus. Again, I'm not doing any heavy lifting on this song. It's all supportive. This song could be piano and dobro, and it would be absolutely incredible. But we're doing a full band. There's drums, there's bass, there's acoustics, there's mandolin, and electrics. So let's see. I'm going to switch to my... switch to the cathedral setting on my reverb. Alright, here we go. Oh, I turned my pre-roll off while we were listening. Just turn that pre-roll back on. Cool. And that comes back in the next pre-chorus. And there it is. It's after. I'll just roll this from the top of the second verse so you can hear everything that's going on in verse 2. So the difference with that one is that they added that beat 4 1/3, because that's a really nice way. 3. Really nice way to get from a 5 to a 4 chord. It's got more movement. It's more momentum. You want the second pre-chorus to be a little bigger than the first. So again, it's all about dynamics. Creating this arc from the intro all the way till the bridge in this song is really a build, and then the bottom drops out for the down chorus, and then we're back in for the back half of the chorus. So that's all I'm going to do on that track. That's it. Don't need to do anything else. I don't really hear... I'm listening to just the track minus everything I added. I guess there's maybe room for like a swells, a track of swells. Maybe it's from the top. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna add it. Might be totally wrong, way too much. If that's the case, they can mute it real easy. So how do I want to do this? I'm gonna stay on this guitar, as I often do. I'm gonna take the tremolo off. I might use my DM2. Be my intro. Yeah, it could just be something tucked way back that kind of adds vibe. So let's try that. And this is from the top. I think I have only a bar of pre-roll, which is great. All right, all the way down, unless I screw up. Okay, something you may have heard on the way by is that I decided to harmonize that line in the pre-choruses where the band is doing. I decided to go that's really a third above the melody, but staying in the key, right? I'm not going to play anything out of the key. So here's the original line, the melody, which is walking down whole steps, right? Well, in this key, a third above this, it's a minor third above it. It's an F sharp over the D sharp, an E above the C sharp, and then we go to major thirds, D sharp over B, C sharp over A. So together, what you're hearing is with the root note. And then there's that beat 4, 1/3 in the second pre. You may have also heard that in the back half of the last chorus, where it comes up, instead of being a full bar of 5 sus and a full bar of 5 diamond, it waits for the diamond in the second bar till beat 3. So it's a shorter diamond, but also the first of those 2 bars is not a 5 sus. And I'd originally written it that way, and then I started playing the acoustic and was like, wait a minute, there's something else happening there. And I realized it's a 1/5. That can serve a similar purpose to a 5 sus, but it has a different sound because it's not a 5 chord being suspended. It's a 1 chord where the root note is a 5. That's what 1/5 means, or 1/3, or 4/6, or whatever. Anytime you see chords where you have they almost appear in a fraction form, I guess. One letter over another letter. That means this chord over this bass note. And most of the time, almost 100% of the time in pop music, that bass note is part of the chord. Sometimes it's part of a walk down. Like you could have a 1/7, 1/6, which is really like a 6 minor, 1/5, that's like a 5 sus, 1/4, which is like a 4 sus 2. But here, instead of just playing a B sus chord, 5 sus, it's actually 1/5. And so the quickest way for me to grab a chord like that, a 1/5, is to play a 1 chord and just make sure that the lowest pitch note is a 5. So instead of playing, I would just play from here, because that's a 5. And that's actually what I did on the acoustic. So, I guess higher you could play, that's 1/5, and then 5 sus, 5. I'll also play voicings that just don't have a low E. Like I think on this track I used, the important thing, and this is actually a 1/3 shape. The important thing is that it's not a 1 chord with the root in the bottom, because that sounds like it's conflicting. And it's important that it has the 3 notes of a 1 chord instead of the 3 notes of a 5 sus chord. So you may have checked out by now. Here it is in context. Take off our pre-roll. Here it is right here. 1/5. 5 sus. 5. So here's just the acoustic on that spot. It's got a B in the bass. Yeah, and I chose not to do the sus resolve move. I felt like a lot of people were on it. But here's with my first electric that I laid. 1/5, 5 sus, 5. Let's see what my baritone's doing. Yeah, there's the sus and resolve. A 1/5 is just a really strong sounding, very strong sounding chord that feels like it wants to go somewhere. Usually when you hit a 1 chord, it's like, well, you're just done. That's what all the tension in the scale and all the chords want to get back to. But if you want to use that in a way that doesn't, in a transitional way, in a way that still creates movement, make it a 1/5 or a 1/3. That wants really badly to go to, right? 1 over 3 is pull to the 4. Or if you go in from the 4, they pull to the 2 minor. So anyway, one other thing you may have heard, and this is going way back in this track. In the verse, I landed, right before our pre-chorus, I landed on a note that the dobro landed on. And that just tweaks my ear every time. So let's find it, because I want to fix it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it was somewhere in this verse. That's a 5 minor chord. Beautiful chord. Ah, doesn't pull my ear too much, but it's right there. Listen. Yeah, dobro's going. That's actually, when I say dobro is doing this, that's actually what we call Josh Matheny. I was referring to him, not just the instrument. Dobro is playing this on his dobro. He's known as Dobro Josh because he's really awesome on the dobro. Great dude, great songwriter, great player. Yeah, he's playing really great stuff on this track. It's kind of tucked back, but whenever this releases, you can look for it, and you'll hear all the wonderful things he did. But he's going. So that's the move. When we release from the 4 to the 1 chord, he and I are both landing on that low 3rd. So I want to hear what I did. There's so much delay and reverb tail, I need to punch a bigger spot, or at least have a lot of pre-roll, and make sure that I have the same thing ringing out as I did before. Punching a track that has a lot of delay and a lot of trails on it can be weird if you don't play the same voicing you did before the spot you're trying to punch. That's what I should not have done. So when I hit the 3rd of the 1 chord, that's where dobro lands too. And I don't know. If you're not intentionally doubling someone's line, playing different things at the same time that land in the exact same spot, that just tweaks my ear for whatever reason. So I'm gonna fix it. The spot I need to punch that I can do it well. Let's see. Everybody around you, something every second of the day. No time left, nothing but cleaning up the feeling that heaviness in your chest, like you're gonna cry. Cool. That is gonna work. I'm pretty sure. So let's see. Let's really put it under the microscope. I'm just gonna solo the guitar track itself. Here's the top of the punch. out, there's a bit of, you can hear a fade or something happening. Let's try it here. Let's see if that's better. No, I could hear it. There we go. That's a good one. The only thing is that at the top of my fade, the top of my punch, I picked the note audibly instead of swelling into it. I don't know if that's a problem. Let's listen with the whole track.
Everybody around you needs something every second of the day. No time left.
I like it. It's actually, it pokes out for a second, and then it swells into a note behind where the dobro lands. Cool. I think I'm done. I am done with this track. Once again, supporting role. The important stuff is covered by piano and dobro. This could really be a featuring dobro track. I mean, he's playing everywhere in it, and it's all great. So that was what they were going for, and I think everybody nailed it. So I'm going to turn these in and see what they say. Thanks a lot for watching. See ya.